all for my big grand finale. We're just your typical loving, tickly, laughy family. I would say that we experience the world in a different way. Every family is unique and every situation is unique. Show me how you throw. Whoa, there it goes. For me, it was mother's intuition that something was wrong with his eyesight. And what is your sweet pill for?
Healthy brains and healthy muscles.
Healthy brains and healthy muscles, good. He knows that he's blind. I don't think that it's really clicked for him that makes him different.
They're your kid first. Spoil them rotten. Do everything that you were going to do anyways with your kid.
Should we start by making a beat first?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have to get hung up on these things that he can't do. It's finding that thing that he can and that he'll relate to.
Splish, splash, splash, splish, splash. Every good parent just wants, like, a good, happy, easy life for your kids, right? No. It's gonna be fine. He's gonna have a pretty much normal life.
The concept of a family is ever-changing. Each family experiences its own set of unique joys, struggles, and successes. Join Canadian families in the disability community on journeys of growth, self-discovery, adaptability, and strength.
We are the Santos McLaren family, and we are one.
I'm William McLaren, and I'm here. I'm here with Mommy and Daddy. How are you doing, Mommy and Daddy?
Oh, just doing real great, thanks. My name is Claudine Santos. I'm Mommy.
My name's Adam McLaren, and I'm Daddy.
What do you think, Will? How would you describe our family? What are a couple words to describe our family?
Loving.
Loving. Love sandwich.
Okay, panini press.
We're just your typical loving, tickly, laughy family.
That tickles.
Yeah, I know. I would say that we experience the world in a different way. Yeah, we've learned to put a lot more emphasis on our other senses. So it's a more tactile world for us. There's more like richness in the sounds that we listen to because we're just hyper aware. Oh. Because this little guy is fully blind. Hey, what does being blind mean, William?
You see with your hands and not your eyes.
Yeah, that's right.
Claudine and Adam met when they were both living in Vancouver. Adam was a DJ and Claudine was a music manager, and a mutual connection introduced them.
And he said, oh, this is that DJ that I was telling you about, Scratch Marks. And I was in work mode, right? So I just looked over at him and went, oh, hi, it's nice to meet you. And in my brain was just going, Rolodex, you know? Okay, slot you in there. This is what you look like. This is what's gonna happen. It's fine. And that was our first meeting.
Mm-hmm. And eventually we did start dating, and as soon as we did, I got a promotion at the job I was working at the time and had to move up to Whistler. Mm-hmm. But we maintained like a very constant distance relationship throughout it. And
basically we haven't stopped talking since we started dating.
Pretty much every single day.
After moving back to Ottawa to be closer to Adam's family, the couple found out they were expecting.
I knew pretty much immediately that I was pregnant. I was maybe 3 weeks pregnant at the time. And I came home from work and I said, I really have a craving for pasta, so let's just go out and get some pasta. So we walk over, we find a joint, get some pasta. I'm inhaling, I'm loving this pasta. Got home and I just said to Adam, I'm most likely pregnant. I feel it. And he was like, what do we do? I'm like, well, first we have to go get a test. Okay. And then early in the morning, hopped over to a drugstore, got a test, came back, and he said, I have to go golfing with my dad. Don't take the test without me. A round of golf and a beer and a burger later, this guy rolls home close to 6 o'clock at night. I'm like, are you even kidding me right now? He got in, I immediately went to the washroom and came back out, and then did this alternating like laugh, cry. I was like, we're gonna have a baby. And in the end, we ended up with laughing, and in the end, we were good. But it was just so quick.
Shortly after William was born, they faced their first hurdle as a family.
He didn't cry like you hear it in the movies, right? There's no immediate loud cry. It was very quiet, so we were really nervous at first. We couldn't keep his temperature regulated, so he was fine as long as he was skin to skin with me, but the minute they would take him away, his temperature would drop and he became quite cold. His blood sugars were way off, and we thought that maybe he had an infection, so he was only hours old and he was given a spinal tap. And then after that, we also, he was diagnosed with prolonged jaundice, so he was just a tiny little yellow baby. And so that was difficult. He was taken to the NICU, the neonatal ICU.
Claudine began suspecting immediately that William might have vision loss.
For me, it was mother's intuition that something was wrong with his eyesight. Our pediatrician, who's still our pediatrician, she took a look at him and she said, yeah, I can't tell you exactly what's wrong, but definitely there is something wrong with his eyes. She said, I'm gonna have to put in a referral to a specialist. And I was just fretting, and I researched the symptoms of seizures. And I took him into Geo Emerge, and I just said, I think my baby's having seizures. The doctors are like, well, we're not sure about the seizures yet, but there is something wrong with his eyes. We were in the hospital for a week. I did not leave that child's side. And, by the end of it, they had done the imaging and they came and told us that he had septo-optic dysplasia, which is a thinning of the optic nerves. At one end of the spectrum, you can have a kid with basically normal vision, just some nearsightedness and periphery issues, yeah. And on the total opposite end, which is where Will is now, we know now, it's full blindness, so he doesn't even have light perception.
We are one. We are one.
Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, we're making a hole for our tomatoes.
William McLaren was diagnosed with septo-optic dysplasia when he was 2 months old. For Mom Claudine and Dad Adam, that meant rethinking normal and trying to understand and connect with not only a tiny human, but also a new community.
Get gentle with the plant. I think for me, the biggest part was getting my head around the fact that there were things that he could still do and experience, even though he didn't have that visual aspect.
Get on the pedals?
I'm gonna ride.
Find Mommy!
I'm just gonna ride like Mama Imelda.
Okay.
Find
Mommy.
And actually, the attending doctor for our week in Chio, the way that she delivered the news was brutal. Like she said, okay, I need you to understand, he will never ride a bike.
I was coming for help to turn to Mommy.
Okay, so what you need to do is put your feet up on the pedals,
Okay.
and listen for where Mommy is clapping, and turn your handlebars until you're pointed right at the clapping, and then go
Right.
straight.
Right at Mommy's clapping.
To the left.
He will never do this, he will never do that, he will never recognize your face. Sometimes I think back as to why she would have phrased it that way. I think maybe to drive home the severity of it, but I think what she risked was having parents get really caught up on that never part, you know? And it was a really conscious effort on my part to say, I refuse to think of it that way, and I instead choose to think of, well, he can do this and he can do that, and focus on what he can do, and then work around the rest.
Good job! Yay!
It actually only came about in the last few years when more of his individual personality started coming through, and I was able, and he started to be able to better verbally communicate, and that way I could talk to him directly and explain things better.
Should we start by making a beat first?
Yes.
Okay. Now you said you wanted a 2-bar beat, is that right?
Yes.
2 bars. Okay.
2 bars for the film crew.
When he was more nonverbal, I found it a lot more difficult to connect to him. So when that relationship finally started to really blossom, that's, I think, for me, really when acceptance hit.
I don't think I knew anybody that had any kind of vision loss. I mean, you know, elderly people whose vision starts to fail, but it's completely different.
I've always been a massive fan of visual arts, of film, of things like that. And the idea of the loss of him being able to directly visually experience that stuff was a little depressing for me. You don't have to get hung up on these things that he can't do. It's finding that thing that he can and that he'll relate to. It doesn't need to be visual.
When I was pregnant, there are a lot of things that you plan on showing your child. Sitting and watching a sunset and you think this is going to be so great. And then you can't do that. Plans change. And I think that just every good parent just wants like a good, happy, easy life for your kids, right? You just want your kids to be successful and healthy and happy, and then you just start worrying. So you get angry because it's not in your control to fix. So that was tough. I love you.
I love you.
He's my favorite.
I
It's true. It's so true.
Claudine wrote a vow to William when his diagnosis was confirmed, which she shared with friends and family on social media.
To my son, not to linger on what he can't do, and instead help him achieve all the things he can do. He feels, he thinks, he laughs, he cries, and most importantly, he breathes. He is my son, and I love him without bounds, and I look forward to experiencing the world a different way as we teach him about his surroundings. I am not angry. I do not blame God. I am not sad. I am thankful that he is happy, healthy, and beautiful little boy who will grow and learn and love. I need help to make biscuits. Will you help me make biscuits?
Yeah, I'm just gonna help you make. I'm just gonna make you biscuits.
Okay.
Connecting with others outside of her family was hard for Claudine.
I would go to the blind low vision parent workshops and I'd listen and then immediately leave. I was a bit of a shut-in for the first year and a bit, and I just really focused on Will, and that was it. It was Will and work. And then finally I started to feel a bit more comfortable, and that's when I joined Advocacy. Yeah, because I was ready to be part of a broader community of parents, and I realized that they I shouldn't be afraid and I shouldn't shy away from joining them. And actually, we can learn a lot from one another. So I really wanted that community.
OPVIC, Ontario Parents of Visually Impaired Children, formerly Views for the Visually Impaired, is a peer support group for parents who are raising children with vision loss.
When I joined OPVIC, not a lot of people knew about Views. There were a lot of people I encountered that thought that Views was defunct. So I think there was a smaller group of people that were able to benefit from that community, but on a broader scale, the organization wasn't very well known.
But now, as sitting president, Claudine is helping to build awareness.
She is absolutely a tour de force, like an incredible parent. There's never a moment where she isn't absolutely doing everything in her power to make his life better, to make inroads for him, to make sure that he is accepted and loved and welcomed every single place we go.
Having a kid with any kind of additional needs is tough, right? And I find that if you have a super steady, rock solid relationship, then you're able to lean on each other to get through it. And I've been really thankful. I couldn't choose another partner.
Get right in there. Hug him tighter, Daddy. Tighter.
We are one. We are one.
For Claudine, Adam, and William, their family unit is small but mighty and includes a diverse group of friends.
You want to do some big circles? Yeah? Okay. All right. Let's go.
I think that typically people define family as the group of people that you're born into, but I really take that definition and want to expand it, because our friends, I've always said our friends are the family that we choose, and I'm so far away from my family that it's really my friends that have helped support me through the years. When it comes to William, I would be lost without some of those guys.
Another person who has become a part of their family is William's teacher, Miss Megan, who has been a big part of his development.
I've got some rocks.
I can do it.
You're gonna do all of them?
Yes.
All at once or one at a time? When I first met William, he wasn't all that interested in being at school. It was chaotic and there was a lot expected of him. So we definitely had bumps in the road getting to know each other. But we built up a lot of trust between the two of us and really got to know our quirks inside and out. And that's one of the reasons it's really important for me to stay with him more than just one school year at a time, is because it takes so long to build that relationship. Oh, that was a good flop.
Big flop.
He came to me in kindergarten already having a good grasp of his literacy, the way letters sound, and he could even spell out 3-letter words off the top of his head, and his counting was really good already. So a lot of those fundamentals his parents had already helped him with before he got to school. So it didn't take us long to really pair that up with the Braille skills that go with it. When Mr. Kane gets stuck, you can hover him and just tap left and right. Yeah. So it doesn't like rolling on uneven ground like this.
He's a child with a visual impairment, so he gets assigned TBI. We're just super lucky that we got one that is dedicated and kind-hearted, patient, but also tech savvy, which is so useful.
Up in the air, ready, go. I really do feel like part of the family. There's complete trust between all of us, knowing that we all have his best interests.
She's been a great advocate for him in school to make sure that he gets all of the equipment that he needs, all of the special accommodations that he needs, and she has also been really wonderful in giving us resources because we've been learning Braille right along with Will, and so it's, you know, to the point that I can read uncontracted Braille by sight, which is helpful. Yeah, in helping him with his homework and such.
You're conquering these stairs.
Conquering?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
it means you're the champ.
I'm just conquering them.
Yep. I really see William going far, and he's such a really brilliant mind. There's not much he won't be able to do, and I'm really proud to have been the start of that path for him.
You're the sweetest little baby in the whole wide world. And I love you oh so much.
I wanted a song that was really tactile, so I just have a cutesy little song that we rub noses, and it ends with us going beep, 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 nose to nose. I know the day is coming where he's like, Mom, I'm too old for that song. I'm gonna need you to step away.
The whole wide world.
They're your kid first. Treat them as such. You know, spoil them rotten. Do everything that you were going to do anyways with your kid. You know, don't let anything change that. Never go into it assuming the worst. Just roll with it and figure it out.
Oh, you're gonna win! Oh no, Wendy, don't worry! Yeah, you're gonna do it! Oh, you won! You beat me!
I just,
Turn around.
I just beat you.
While every family is unique and every situation is unique, the problems, the barriers that you are encountering are not. And so it's just important to remember that you're not alone and that the resources are there. And I think our failing is that we're not making those resources easy enough to find. It's so crazy, like when you have a kid, they're your whole world, and all you want to do is keep them safe. You just, like, I just want to wrap them up in a bubble, you know? I don't want them to get hurt. I don't want them to get bullied. I don't want anything, so I just want to keep them wrapped up in a bubble. It's a totally different level of love, and so to just know that there's one other individual out there who loves this child as much as you love them, loves them so much that it could hurt, like it just hurts. Yeah, it's gratifying.
That was nice.
Yes.
Host, Chris Valley. Producer, Emily Ramsey. Videographer and editor, Darcy DeTony. Location sound mixer, Stephen Lorne. Integrated Described video specialist, Simone Cupid. Audio post, Mark Phoenix. Graphics, Mike Smith. Senior producer, Michelle Dudas. President and CEO, David Arrington. Copyright 2021, Accessible Media, Inc.